This is Robin Nelson here with Horror Pop After Midnight, and I'm here at the Average Joe Films Festival. I'm here with writer-director J.W. Cox and actress Kira. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I knew you guys were going to do that. So, J.W. Cox, let's talk about the film we just watched, The Rise of Elsie Matthews. That was a pretty good, fun, powerful drama.
Yeah, Elsie is, I think, an important story for the industry. I think a lot of people ignore what goes on with child actors just because they have a job to do. And, I think it's really easy for us to look the other way because our careers kind of call for us to, because that financial stability is important. And so I think it's important to bring attention to that. And that's what this story is kind of about, is bringing attention to the fact that child actors can be abused and taken advantage of by everyone around them.
So how'd you bring Rhyan in? She was pretty good.
So Rhyan is a very solid actress from Middletown, which is where I'm from, and she was in it's on HBO now, but in the movie Wrong Turn a few years ago, and we were able to collaborate with her for A Balanced Breakfast back in February, and so after I wrapped up with that and we won at Winter Film, basically I started writing my next couple projects, and I realized that the only person who could play Elsie in this was Rhyan. So I didn't plan on doing Elsie until 2023, but I realized Rhyan was aging out of the role really quick. She shot up like 3 or 4 inches between Breakfast and Elsie. So we quickly shot it in August of 2022. So that's how we got Rhyan involved, because she was the only person that was going to be Elsie.
Now let's talk about Kira. What's up with you beating up kids in films?
I guess typecast as the mommy dearest type. That's my second role that I've had to be mean to children in. The first one was Analog Rainbow, which you were there at Dayton Independent Film Festival, and then this one, it was a really great, challenging role, and I'm very, very thankful that Joe cast me for this role. It's everything that I've ever wanted in a role, so very blessed.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. The part where Kira, slapped Rhyan down, and then you see her with scratches on her face. How did you guys do that?
So we have a very talented hair and makeup artist named Bethany Casson, and on set we had her kind of rub up some redness on Ryan's face for the slap, and I just was like, she's wearing these long nails, and I said I feel like it would be like a little extra, I guess, drama if the nails scratched her up on the face. And so Bethany literally pulled Rhyan out and in like 10 minutes put together those scratch marks kind of on the fly so that we could really call back to the damage. I think we wanted to show a physical representation of the internal damage that was happening between their relationship as well.
The cool thing about the film, I'm not going to ruin it everything, it did have some great, sweet revenge ending.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those endings that I think you could take it multiple ways. I think some people will see it as, a positive, and some people will see it as kind of a dark ending for Elsie. I think, the title says it all. It's definitely the rise of Elsie Matthews, but also in a lot of ways, she's rising up to be exactly the type of person her mother raised.
Yeah, that was freaky how Rhyan did that freaky grin. That kind of messed me in the head a little bit. It's like this cute little girl, and then she has this evil, Dr. Evil type of look.
Yeah, I think number one, Rhyan was having a lot of fun with that. I think I had to even bring her back from being too sinister with that. But I think it's important because, Elsie herself is not a typical hero. She's very flawed herself, and being raised in an environment with that much abuse and, the language and crassness of her mom kind of reflects into the inner core of her being too. So it's kind of that nature over nurture, or nature versus nurture, because it's kind of both. Nature and nurture can affect somebody. So I wanted to show that Elsie was, she's definitely the victim here, but in a lot of ways, she's becoming what I think her mom didn't intend for her to, but was causing her to become.
Yeah, Kira. Let's talk about your chemistry with Ryan, which was good. I mean, you guys like knew each other well and pulled it off pretty well, like what you did with Emily Botkin and Analog Rainbow as well. So, okay, Brandy, sorry, but when you worked with Ryan on on this film, did you guys like go over certain scenes, before you to make it like really real?
Actually, Ryan is a complete professional. She and I had just met on set. We had not met prior to that. So we just kind of showed up and did our job, and it worked. She's absolutely a joy to work with, and she's such a professional actress. So she made it easy.
I would say to Ryan, Ryan comes to set knowing her lines and your lines. So that helps too. So like she knows what you're gonna do and when you're gonna do it everywhere in the script. She just knows it front to back. She's a true pro.
So, JW, what are some upcoming projects you're going to be doing next, especially in 2023?
Oh man, I have quite a few different short films written. I'm kind of workshopping a horror short next.
Yes.
So but we're in the very early stages. Elsie's kind of been a big project to undergo, and so it's taken a lot of time and resources. So I'm kind of resting for a couple months and figuring out which project I want to get off the shelf next.
That'd be pretty good if you do a horror film. I would love to see that. I'm big into horror, but I also like my drama and action too. So, Kira, tell us what you've been up to lately. You were doing some work down in Atlanta too.
I just came back from Atlanta, and I was shooting a feature film out there called The House Among the Trees. And let's see here. So, and then prior to that, I was working on this. So this was shot the latter part of this summer, and it was done very quickly. So, yeah, I'm very excited that Joe got it finished as quickly as he did, and it looks so good.
What did we do? 3 days of production?
Yeah.
I think we only did 3 days of production.
Yes.
So, Joe, where can everybody find you on social media to follow you and see what you're going to be doing next?
You can find us at Average Joe Films on Instagram, and you can find me at JW Cox Official at most. I think that's my Twitter and my Instagram.
And where can everybody find you, Kira?
Instagram, acting_like_Kira.
All right, thanks, guys. This is Robin Nelson with Horror Pop After Midnight, and I'm here with this young, talented actress, Ryan. How's it going, Ryan?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Let's talk about your film, The Rise of Elsie Matthews. You were pretty good. I loved it. I loved the end. You got some sweet revenge.
I did. I mean, she was pretty cool to me. I had to, I had no choice. I feel like that was one of my more challenging acting roles just because it had so much different emotion going on from the beginning to end.
So what was it like to work with Kira? She was a very, very mean stage mother.
Yeah, as mean as she was off screen, she was very nice and welcoming, and it was just a great experience to get to work with someone of her talent.
You sure did take a beating by her.
I did. I told them, just hit me. We'll get one good take, but, I'm a minor, so there's stuff that comes along with that.
So in the scene where she hit you, how did those scratches pop up on the side of your face?
Oh, that took some time in the makeup chair. They tried to align the nails up with the marks on my cheek. So after the slap, I had to go, and it took maybe 30 minutes to get the scratches perfected.
Now let's talk about your other short, which I liked, A Balanced Breakfast. So what was it like to work with Vince Hobart?
I loved working with Vince. It was so much fun. We had this joke because the line where we're in the car and we're talking in sync, we kept messing up, and we were like, oh my goodness, Vince, when really in reality it was the both of us, but it was just a fun time and a lot of jokes.
Yeah, you guys had great chemistry. You guys pulled it off as a daughter and father, and it got me invested in it. You guys could have been like really related.
Yeah. One time my dad came on set and he just stepped back and he was like, "Oh, you can take the father role for the day." It was really fun.
So, did you try any of the cereal?
I did not. I wanted to, but they were like, "Oh, it's just a combination of different stuff," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
So, what are you going to be doing next? What are some of the other projects people can look forward to seeing you in?
Well, some of my past projects are Wrong Turn and Donnybrook, and hopefully I might get a movie this coming year, but that's all I can say on that.
All right. Thank you so much for taking your time for this great interview.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.